Good morning, YouTube viewers and subscribers. So it's one day removed from me posting my hard choices video, and I just want to say thank you to everybody for the overwhelming amount of comments and support for the decision and my future going forward. But as promised, I do have a few engines. I have a lot of engines that I really want to get some stuff done on, but one in particular here that I've had for over a week now is an engine of John's that I told him that I would actually do a couple videos of, and this is going to be the first one. This is going to be an inside look of this video. What I've got here today is an engine. It's an OS 108 FSR. Now this engine, I can't recall off the top of my head. I forgot to look on my calendar or on my OS timeline to see when this engine was released. But it's also obviously an FSR, so it's very much like my 91 FSR. In fact, it's probably more like my 91 FSR than the original 90 FSR. I believe John said he bought this and it was supposed to be advertised as new in box or new on run or something, but obviously when he got it, he could tell right away. He did the sniff test, and of course you don't even need to do a sniff test on this to see that this engine has been run. Now, I'm going to take the contents out of the box here. This is the engine, and it came with this homemade looking adapter plate and a homemade looking gasket for an exhaust that was not included with the engine. And this is what the engine looks like. It's obviously, since the box is the light blue, or is the blue color like it is, that's a later version, probably one of the latest versions of this engine made, especially seeing that it's got this remote needle on here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take it off and put it on here the right way because it's not properly positioned. But it's very obvious to see here. Let me zoom in on this camera a bit. Very obvious to see that this engine has been run, just because some carbon built up on there. And of course the sniff test proves that it has been run. Now when I first pulled this out of the box, I thought it felt a little light on compression, but then I pulled my 91 FSR out and I did basically the same thing, and the compression doesn't really feel all that different. These are both ringed engines, not Dykes ring, they're just standard ringed engines, so they're not going to have the same feeling compression necessarily as you would have on an ABC engine. One thing I'm going to have to do here is I'm going to have to pop this little arm off of here so that I can put it on John's carb to actuate it. His carb is loose on here also, and when I first got it, it actually wasn't rotating. It's just a little gummed up is all. I'll probably go and put a little bit of heat or maybe a couple drops of oil on this. One thing I want to do here is I want to pull this plug out. It looks like, oh well, there's another thing. I just felt the plug for the first time, and the plug wasn't fully seated. So there's probably another reason why the compression felt a little bit lighter. I think this is alive. Let's see how it looks like. It's an OS number 8 plug, so that should be fine. Looks like it's glowing just fine, so we should be good with that plug. You know, there's some carbon. I mean, the person that was selling it, if they could just look at the top of the head, I mean, it's very obvious that this engine has been run before. So I don't know how that person could sell this thinking that it was new and not run. But I mean, it doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure that one out. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Compression feels much better now. So what I'm going to do with this engine is I'm going to put a drop of oil in here. I don't have one right with me here. Put a drop of oil in here, reattach this carb, and put my adapter plate on here. I'll start screwing that in right now. And I'll use my exhaust for the 91 FSR. And we'll get this. Oh, you know what? I'm going to pull this back cover, seeing as this screw, you know what, I think the person that shipped this engine may have just rotated this high-speed needle the way it is just for shipping to get it out of the way. I don't think they really intended it to be run like that, because that's I'm seeing that this screw here was loose, and this one's loose also. So as long as we got loose screws, let's just go ahead and let me run these in here real quick. I don't have screws dropping out all over the place. And let's take a quick look inside here. Oh yeah, there was actually suction there. Oh, okay, excellent. This is very nice. This is a very low runtime engine. Look at this. This is really, really nice. I think you got a winner here, John. You really got a winner here. Sure, it's got a little bit of staining on the top, but man, that's a really, really nice engine. So I think this should go like this. That's how I'm going to put it on. And I'll have to reposition this. I'll have to loosen that up to reposition that. And then we'll go, I think I'm going to put a 17.6 Zor prop on this. Haven't decided what fuel I'm going to run on it yet. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll use that last blend I've been using. I don't know if I've got any mixed up to 6.25%. Maybe I'll just put some FAI through this engine. That way I don't have to mix any fuel up. Alright. I don't know if one of these is just going to be the right size. Quickly. Okay. Just kind of rotate that like that. Ooh. What the hell? Yeah, somebody's really got that high-speed needle. Oh, wow. What is going on there? Why is that high-speed needle so tight? Looks like somebody's drilled out the hole here for that. Let's see why this is so tight. Man. I don't understand why that thing is high-speed needle is so tight. But I think I know why now, because the O-ring is completely obliterated here. Wow, that is not looking good at all. I don't have a replacement O-ring or seal for this, so hopefully this will be okay. John, this is... Well, I think we're done here. About the only other thing I can think to do is, that O-ring's just completely destroyed, would be to just wrap a whole bunch of Teflon tape around this. But that's not really the right way to do it. That would only get me through a run. Let's put this thing back in here and see how badly it leaks. Fully closed. Well, you know what? It's fully closed and there's no air coming out. What that may mean is that we might have some leakage here. So, even without the seal on that O-ring, I may just pull this thing out, wrap some Teflon tape around it, thread it back in. That should get us good for a run anyway. But John, you're going to have to replace the seal on this. So, anyway, let me get this thing ready to go outside for a run.